Immigrants make up 13% of America's population. That's almost 1/4 of the U.S.'s total population. So what have U.S. immigrants experienced in assimilating to the Siouxland community? What were their hardships, and what have they succeeded at? We went out and asked people, what is the biggest success in coming to Siouxland?
My name is Ariana Sandoval. Well, there's definitely a lot of jobs here. I think it's great because then we just become a big melting pot and we learn from other different cultures and we just mix.
My name is Greg Brumman. The best part about coming to America, I would think, would be greater opportunities, better jobs, better pay, safer streets, some areas.
Porque pues hay mucha gente que está trabajando que es buena.
I think it's very easy for them to assimilate and to get along, you know. As I said, if things go good for everybody, they live here in peace and they mind their own business, then everything will be fine.
So everybody agrees that job opportunities are the best part of Siouxland, but are there other hidden successes?
And a lot of them come here for a better life for themselves and their families. It's a lot better for them to raise a family and stuff, and there's more opportunities here and it's a lot cheaper living. I actually talked to some of the students, then they live in Minneapolis or bigger cities, and it's just harder because it's harder to find jobs, harder for transportation, harder for their kids to kind of grow up. Here it's a lot more calm than bigger cities, so it's better here. There's more opportunity, I feel like.
Como para tener una mejor vida, pensando cómo darles un mejor futuro a mis hijos.
But then what's the hardest part in trying to assimilate to the Siouxland culture?
Learning the language, because English is a very difficult language to learn, and just getting used to how people do things around here.
I would say if they don't know the language, that would probably be the number one thing.
The toughest thing would probably be the language. English language is the toughest language in the world to learn, and that would probably be the biggest obstacle.
Oh yeah, it's tough. You can just tell they're struggling, and especially the people that come here for our ESL classes. A lot of them are in their 50s, and you think about it, being in your 50s when you have a family and stuff, it's very hard to learn, but they're here, they have their full-time jobs. A lot of them work at Tyson, so it's not the best job ever, but they still come here and they're just, willing to sacrifice to learn English and, have a better future for themselves and their kids.
Es, en primer lugar, como su idioma.
But other than that, there's programs like ESL and stuff where they can learn the language better and more accurately.
Language? Is that all?
I don't know, just the way people would look at you or try to maybe treat you differently would be the most difficult part.
I think it's really hard. I mean, there's always people who are trying to judge you and say that it's wrong to be like that. There's this thing that's should be American, but that's kind of hard.
Just the sacrifice that they go through just to be here in the U.S. I was talking to a Cuban the other day. Him and 8 of his buddies from his town, people he didn't really know, just people from his town, they fled Cuba, so they got 8 tires together and tied them up in a circle, and they all just threw themselves in the water and holding onto the tire. Out of 8 of them that came with him, only 3 made it back. Only 3 made it alive. I said some of them were just feeling hungry. Some of them, due to the rain or something, they're just drowning. Some of them were just feeling weak, so they would just say bye and let go, take Titanic type stuff. And it's sad, just thinking of stuff like that. And a lot of African refugees too and stuff like that. They come in boats sometimes, and a lot of the women get raped. A lot of the kids fall off the boats, stuff like that. So there's a lot of sacrifice, and it's pretty sad thinking about it.
Successes and roadblocks? We have found out that the biggest success is job opportunities, but there is also many other minor successes. And the biggest roadblock in assimilating is the language barrier, but also judgment for their beliefs. As you can see, many factors play into an immigrant's experience in Siouxland. And through our experience interviewing, one thing stood out the most, and that was that people shouldn't judge immigrants because they have not experienced the suffering immigrants have been through. Okay, so when I ask you a question, repeat back the question first. So if I say, "What is your name?" you say,
What is your name?
I go to school at North High. That sounds like a robot. Okay. So, what are your feelings towards immigration?
I think that it should be allowed.
Pause it.